Alright, chemistry, this is another sample problem coming at you from Chapter 7, Section 3. In this sample problem, we'll be using molar mass as a conversion factor in order to calculate the mass in grams of 0.257 moles of calcium nitrate, CaNO3 2. And the first things I want to understand is I'm converting from a number of moles to a number of grams, or mass in other words. So I'm converting from moles to mass. And so the thing that connects moles and mass is this thing that we call molar mass. And this should be the easier one to remember because moles and mass, both of those words are in the name here. Molar right here, and then mass over here. So I'm going to be using the molar mass in order to convert from moles to grams. But the molar mass of what? This substance named in the question, calcium nitrate. So I need to calculate the molar mass of calcium nitrate. First step, identify all of the elements present in the substance. Then go to the periodic table and identify the average atomic masses of all of these species that are present. So the periodic table tells me calcium has an average atomic mass, or average mass, of 40.08 grams per mole. Nitrogen comes in at 14.007 grams per mole, and oxygen comes in at 16.00 grams per mole. Next, I have to take into account how many moles of each element are present in 1 mole of the whole substance. So if there's 1 mole of the whole substance, there's only going to be 1 mole of calcium. There's going to be 2 moles of nitrogen because there are 2 nitrates. And for the oxygen, there are actually going to be 6 moles of oxygen because there are 2 nitrates. Each nitrate has 3 oxygens. Next, I'm actually going to calculate these values here. This one's pretty easy. I don't even need a calculator. This one I can try to do in my head and not mess up. And then this one, I happen to remember off the top of my head. If you're not as lucky as I am, you just use your calculator, which I will do for this part when I go to sum all of these pieces together. Now 40.08 plus 28.014 plus 96.00. My calculator tells me that is 164.094 grams per mole. But here's the thing, we have not considered the appropriate number of significant figures yet. We're using addition in this function right here, so we need to consider which value has the fewest number of digits to the right of the decimal point. So I see that 2 digits to the right, 3 digits to the right, 2 digits to the right. We need to record this molar mass with 2 digits to the right of the decimal. And so this 4 is going to tell me that the 9 is going to stay the same. So the molar mass that I will use for calcium nitrate is going to be 164.09 grams per mole. Alright, now I'm actually ready to set up my conversion. I'm going to start with this number of moles given to me by the problem. I have 0.257 moles of calcium nitrate. And I'm going to set up a conversion. I know I want moles of calcium nitrate on the denominator because it's the only way I can get these things to cancel. Using dimensional analysis, they have to be diagonal and down. They have to be down on the denominator. So that, again, being on the denominator, I divide this out, and when you divide one thing by itself, it's 1, and you can actually skip the part where you record it. It's gone. So I have moles of calcium nitrate. I have moles of calcium nitrate. Now I need to record the grams portion, grams of calcium nitrate. And then now to plug in the values. How many grams? 164.09. How many moles? 1 mole. And now I'm ready to actually punch this into my calculator. Those moles cancel, leaving grams as the only unit left. I know I am on the right track. So in the calculator, I will put 0.257, and I will multiply by 164.09 because I've set up these crosshairs, this conversion factor, looking at the units first, and because I've done that, the setup will actually tell me what mathematical function to carry out. Whether I multiply or divide, it will actually be communicated to me by the setup. So never skip the setup. Never try to do this in your head, because at some point you're going to get one of these wrong. So the calculator has told me that the answer is 42.17113. And our units will be grams of calcium nitrate. But we're not done. If I were to record this, I would be docked points for not considering the appropriate number of significant figures. Again, look at the two values that I'm using and multiplying by one another, and identify the value with the fewest number of significant figures. That'd be 0.257, 3 significant figures over here. And so my answer, based on a calculation using a value with 3 significant figures, my answer can't have any more than 3 significant figures. So I will round to this digit right here. This 7 is going to tell me that I want to round that up to 2. So I'll have 42.2 as my final answer. So what I'm going to report, again, I am including the units here, is that 0.257 moles of calcium nitrate are equal to 42.2 grams of calcium nitrate.